G'day, it's Jamie and welcome to Tantanoola Tigers. Today I'm reading some more newspaper articles about the Wangaratta Tiger Sightings in 1885. So we'll get into it. This first article was published in Melbourne's The Argus on Tuesday, the 12th of May 1885, titled Country News. Chiltern, Monday. In connection with the reported escape of a tiger from a travelling menagerie, the police officer in charge here, Constable Simcox, has been informed by the Mansfield Police that no information had been given to them of a tiger having escaped from any travelling menagerie in the locality. The end. So this next article was published in the Ovens and Murray Advertiser on Thursday, the 4th of June, 1885, titled The Ubiquitous Tiger. Constable Hadfield of Wangaratta has assured one of our reporters that, hearing a strange animal had been seen on Tuesday morning crossing from Wangaratta to Glenrowan, near Allen's place, he examined the spot and found some tracks on the side of the road which were unfamiliar to him and which he thinks might be those of a tiger or some similar animal. He carefully covered up the tracks, which were quite plain, and reported to the matter. As some timid people are really alarmed by the recent rumours, we would ask why the Aboriginal trackers are not immediately put on the traces. The end. Okay, so this next article was published in Melbourne's Argus on Friday, the 5th of June, 1885, titled Reported Escape of a Tiger. With reference to the report that a tiger escaped from a travelling menagerie in this district some time ago, it appears that some children, having declared to their parents that they had seen a strange animal this morning while going to school. Sergeant Steele proceeded with Mounted Constable Hayden to the spot and found the tracks of some animal, which he declares not to be those of a dog or any animal whose tracks are known to him. He examined the children, and they all agreed that the creature crept like a cat. Steele says that the tracks are not much larger than those of a large Newfoundland dog, but appear to be made by an animal with a heavier body. He suggests that it may possibly have been a panther. The tracks have been covered up for future investigation. The end. Okay, so this final article was published in the Ballarat Courier on Thursday, the 11th of June, 1885, titled The Tiger Again. There is a species of fool who absurdly enough believes that the rational portions of humanity will not believe, namely, that they are to be considered very wise from their disbelief of everything they hear. The much laughed at story of the tiger being now verified, the wise will now be very likely to laugh still louder, to be at all consistent with themselves. On Thursday afternoon last, Mrs. Aycock, the wife of a respectable farmer residing about 4 miles from Wangaratta, called at the police station with the information that the tiger was seen in one of their paddocks and was probably still there. Upon which, Sergeant Steele, with 2 mounted men, started off to where it was thought it would be found. Upon arriving at Mr. Aycock's, he elicited the following information. 2 of Mrs. Aycock's children, one a girl about 15 years of age and the other some 2 years younger, having their attention drawn to the horses in one of their paddocks some distance from the house, galloping about in a terrified manner and snorting violently, went down to the paddock where, surely enough, they saw a strange-looking brute, which they said was sneaking along close to the fence. They described it as being brownish on the back and white under the belly, with black stripes running from its back down to its sides, but not on its belly. They also said that its hind legs were cut a long way behind, as if sneaking onto something like a cat, and very long tail standing straight out behind. The sergeant asked them if they would go with him to show him where they saw it, but the eldest girl was too much frightened already and would not go. The youngest child went and pointed out the place, and there, plainly enough, the tracks were to be seen where the brute had sneaked, as the child said, along the fence. The sergeant describes the tracks as being truly feline, the prominent cushion peculiar to that species being clearly imprinted in the soft ground, with the toe marks quite unlike that of a dog, and the marks of the nails in the form of a perpendicular puncture, not like the scratching marks which a dog's nails would make. The sergeant and those with him also observed that the stride was fully 18 inches, and that the tracks of one pair of feet were noticeably larger than those of the other pair. The police followed the tracks, which were distinctly visible and well imprinted wherever the ground happened to be soft, and it was also observable that it kept along the cattle tracks as if sneaking along after them to select a victim. On Wednesday afternoon, a man named Campbell, engaged in splitting in that neighbourhood, heard the roars of the brute several times, which so terrified him that he walked home to Wangaratta sooner than remain in his camp that night. We submit the foregoing facts for the information of the public, and also for the consideration of the wise, to whom we might add acres without going through the troubles attendant upon selection. On Thursday, when Mrs. Aycock was driving from Wangaratta about dusk, upon nearing the paddock in which the animal had been seen earlier in the day, she was alarmed by its roars, which were repeated several times before she reached her house, and states that he was heard several times during the night. She believes that his lair is amongst the fallen portions of an old unused tobacco shed in a paddock at some distance from the house. She says that upon questioning the children's more that she had done previously to her going to inform the police, they told her that the brute was sneaking towards them, that it was as high as a table, and it had a big round head therein. Well, this is really interesting, this. So people were believing at first that a tiger escaped from a menagerie, but there was no actual menagerie anywhere near the place where they said it escaped from, and it was just a rumour. And then so the children saw it, and they said it was sneaking towards them at first, and they described it as brownish on the back, white under the belly, with black stripes running from its back down to its sides, but not on its belly. Its hind legs were cut a long way behind, as if it was sneaking, and it had a very long tail standing straight out behind. The tracks, the constable, the sergeant reckoned the tracks as being truly feline, but you can see the nail marks on the ground, which is interesting because the only big cat that has nail marks like that would be a cheetah, and I doubt it was one of them. The children also said it was as high as a table and had a big round head. So I'm really interested to know what they've seen. I've actually seen an escaped tiger from a menagerie, like a Bengal tiger or something. Or are they seeing a thylacine or a thylacoleo? It's really interesting. The big round head makes me think it might be a thylacoleo. But with the tail, the claw marks being visible in the footprints, that I don't think that's a big cat at all, just by that. And the tail standing straight out the back is really interesting as well. So I'd love to know what they're seeing. Are they seeing a big cat, or are they seeing a thylacine or a thylacoleo? Okay, that's it from me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.